بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Today, Alhamdulillah, to the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have completed Unit 1 on Hadith. So Unit 1 consists of 14 lessons. And if we look closely at the course structure and content, under lesson 15 it says test. I believe this course content and structure was given to everyone. It actually says lesson 15, test. So this should not be of a surprise or a shock. It's actually a part of the structure and syllabus. However, we do understand that time is needed to prepare, and I just want to briefly go over how the test will take place, inshallah. So first and foremost, revision. There are 14 lessons, and the amount of time that has been given is 1 week. So inshallah, by next week, the examination shall take place next Wednesday, inshallah. I don't know about the other classes. I'll leave that to, inshallah, the other teachers and instructors, inshallah. But my lessons usually are half an hour per lesson, perhaps 20-25 minutes. That's 1 hour. So in 1 hour, 2 lessons are covered. So in 7 days, all 14 lessons should be covered, inshallah. If we spend 1 hour a day and go over and listen to those lessons or go over our notes, inshallah, very easily we should pass the examination. What is the purpose of the examination? Number one, this purpose our respected teachers would always advise us as students. The objective is not to see who is the best student and who will get the highest marks, although that's automatically included. But there's a more powerful objective, and that is revision gives us an opportunity to revise our lessons. So 14 lessons were covered, and much information was discussed. By going over our notes, by going over those talks, it just gives us an opportunity to, number one, revise what we learned. And two, if we missed anything, it gives us an opportunity to catch up on missed work. And I have made it very easy. The test will consist of multiple choice questions. So the test is not to test someone's memory, that define this word or define this concept of the Sharia. Although, if the examiner wanted to do that, he has the full right to do that. But we are going to make things very easy. We will provide, inshallah, all the answers. All you have to do is just tick the correct answer. Yes, the answers will be written on the examination. So, for example, what is the definition of ikhlas? So does it mean A? Does it mean B? Does it mean C? Does it mean D? And one of those answers will be the right answer, inshallah. So it'll be either answer number 1, answer number 2, answer number 3 could be a combination of 1 and 2, and D could be none of the above. So it's hoped that, inshallah, even if you don't study, everyone should, inshallah, pass with flying colors. Inshallah. But no, I'm not sure how Mufti Sahib and Dr. Hatim Sahib, what method they'll exercise, but I've thought let's just choose a multiple choice question and make it easy, inshallah. Very similar to the Kahoot. There should be something, inshallah. Okay, so if you look at the Advanced Islamic Studies for Adults course structure and content, this sheet here, it should be there. Yeah, it should be there. So I'll just briefly go over it. Topic 1, introduction. Points. Definition, validity of hadith, and brief history. Number 2, lesson 2, Iman. Points, hadith Jibreel, Iman and Islam, Ihsan. Number 3, topic Islam. Points, 5 tenets, and importance of A'mal. Number 4, or lesson 4, topic Wasawis, details, evil thoughts. Lesson 5, topic Qadr, decree. Details, you can inshallah find the details in the lecture. Lesson 6, Barzakh and Akhirah, details various ahadith. Lesson 7, Riqaq, which means those ahadith which make the heart soft. Details, fear and hope. Lesson 8, Riqaq, details, disregard for the world and its meaning. Lesson 9, Zuhud, which means abstinence. Details, meaning of Zuhud and company of the pious. Lesson 10, Akhlaq, details, kindness and love. Lesson 11, Akhlaq, details, brotherhood and fellow feeling, hatred and jealousy. Lesson 12, Akhlaq, truthfulness and honesty. Lesson 13, Akhlaq, humbleness and modesty. And lesson 14, Akhlaq, sincerity and riya. So inshallah, I will leave it at that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant each and every one of you success. Barakallah feekum. Our students, mashallah, are beyond the level of receiving candies. Inshallah, we'll have Mufti Sahib give his lesson, inshallah. Barakallah feek.
Last week, Wali, because we didn't do. Yeah. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We're having an exam next Wednesday, inshallah. And the top 3 will win a spot, inshallah, in the masjid retreat. So the masjid etikaf / retreat program, inshallah, they'll get the front row seat to the whole. So the fiqh exam will be very easy, the same multiple choice questions, like Masab we do in Kahoot, for 4 answers. So at least 25% chance to being right. That's all we need. With some du'as and some help from Allah, inshallah, we can probably pass just with our eyes closed. So Bismillah at the yes, close your eyes and inshallah we'll be fine. Last time we were discussing these, the fundamentals, the arkans and the wajibat. We will quickly go through them. The fundamentals, the fara'id, the arkan of the salah are 5. If you leave any of them, that your salah is invalid. You have to redo your prayer. The first one we discussed last time as well is qiyam, that standing up. Salah is not correct without qiyam. When a person has the ability to stand, if you do not, then this fard no longer applies to you. It is obligatory in the fard and wajib prayers. It is not obligatory in nawafil. If you're praying optional prayer, you don't have to stand. You can continue sitting without any reduction in the reward. And I mentioned that if a person is unable to pray the entire salah standing, it is better just pray the entire salah seated. And this is not the halal and the haram or the permissible, impermissible issue. This is simply the recommendation the ulama have given, that the better way of the two is, instead of standing and then sitting, or sitting and then standing, you just pray the entire salah in one way or the other. The second one mentioned was qira'ah, the recitation. Even if it is a short verse, salah is not correct without qira'ah. Ulama, how they describe is that either it is one long verse or 3 short verses. One long verse, for example, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تكونوا كالذين آذوا موسى فبرأه الله مما قالوا. Like this is a long verse. And 3 short verses, it could be any short verse. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. You have done that, the salah is valid. And I mentioned the ikhtilaf. According to Abu Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala, qira'at is not obligatory for the muqtadi, the one who's praying behind the imam. It doesn't matter if the salah is jahri or sirri. Doesn't matter if isha salah or zuhur salah. If the imam is reciting out loud or not, in either of those cases, imam is still reciting. So the muqtadi, you do not have to. Of course, according to Imam Ash-Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala, Fatiha is also a fundamental of salah. And this is actually where another ikhtilaf comes, because according to Abu Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala, a person who comes late and the salah is going on and the imam is in ruku, you can join imam in ruku and your rakat is valid. You don't have to make up for it after salam. Why? Because the ruku is the same as qiyam. If you have caught the ruku with the imam, your salah is valid. According to Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala, it would not be valid. Why? Because you have missed out on Fatiha, which was done in the qiyam. Since you have missed out on Fatiha, so ruku, even if you have caught the ruku with the imam, you still have to make up for it afterwards. This is not, like I said, in the case of Abu Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala. The third one is ruku. Salah is of course not correct without bowing down. The obligatory amount of ruku is done by lowering the head, going down and being closer to the ruku posture. This is the minimum amount of the ruku, the fard amount of ruku. That if a person has gone down like this, even if he's not fully like parallel to the ground, then his ruku is still valid, even though he has missed out on a lot of reward, since he didn't do the ruku the proper way. If he had an excuse, the back problems, then that's fine. He can just go down a little bit, that'll be fine. But if a person was able to perform full ruku and still out of laziness or out of haste, he only performs half the ruku, then he would miss out on the reward, but the ruku would still be valid. And the full ruku, the complete ruku, it is done by lowering the back until the head is in line with the rear, like you go all the way down, the straight back. And the fifth, the fourth one is the sajda. Salah is not correct without 2 sajdas in every rak'ah. The fard amount of sajda is done by placing a part of the forehead, one hand, one knee, and a part of the foot on the ground. If you have done at least that, the sajda is performed. But the complete sajda is done by placing the hands, the knees, both feet, forehead, and nose on the ground. Salah will not be correct except if the forehead is firmly on the ground, such that if the person were to press more, his head cannot go lower. This is why ulama have written it is makruh to do sajda on something that is extremely soft. Like, for example, there is a very soft mattress, very thick mattress, that the lower you go, the more you press, the more deeper into the mattress you go, it would be makruh. Why? Because your forehead would not be able to reach a solid surface where it cannot go any lower. So it's better to pray on the carpet or on the ground. And also, it is not correct to suffice on the nose alone for the sajda. except if a person has an excuse. You're praying outside on the concrete or in a garden somewhere, and it's very difficult for you to perform the full sajda, putting your forehead on the ground, or there's some dirt on the ground, whatever. In that case, it will be allowed just to put the nose on the ground and not the forehead, but that is still not recommended. The complete sajda is done by putting both the forehead and the nose on the ground. Whoever makes sajda on his palm or part of his clothing, it will be permitted with some dislike. Again, the same example, you're praying outside, and there's some debris or some small stones that if you were to do sajda on it, you'd feel discomfort or some pain. That it is allowed for you to do sajda on your palms like this, although it is makruh tanzihi. It is conditional for sajda to be correct that the place of sajda should not be higher than the place of the feet by more than 30 centimeters. Salah will not be correct in such a case except if there is a very large crowd. And this happened in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam when masjid was filled, no more space inside the masjid. So the Sahaba stood very close to each other, such that they each cannot get full row to their own. Meaning that if they were to do sajda, they would have to do sajda on the back of another person. This is how close they were standing. And they said they did sajda like that because there was no more spot in the masjid. And and outside, either it was raining or too hot for whatever reason, and all of the Sahaba were grouped up inside the masjid, and they did sajda on each other's back because of limited space. In that case, it is allowed. Other than that, without any medical condition, it cannot be that you have put like a desk in front of you and you're doing a sajda on the desk, you're not going fully down, except if you have a medical reason, that is allowed. The fifth one is the final qa'dah, the last sitting for the duration of tashahhud. That as long as a person has recited at-tahiyyat and tashahhud for that long, then his final qa'dah, his final sitting, then he has performed the fard part of the salah. But if the person, either he stands up before sitting for the duration of the tashahhud, or he misses the final qa'dah entirely, then his salah will not be valid and he will have to redo it. Like I said, these are the fundamentals, the arkan of the prayer, meaning that if you were to miss out on any of them, and you did not perform them within that same prayer, then your salah is invalid. You will just have to repeat it. Some of the fuqaha, they have counted coming out of salah by the actions of the musalli as part of the fard. They have said it is also the rukun of the salah that a person says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Here there's another issue as well. You might have seen that some people, they say salam with the imam, and there are some people, they wait for the imam to finish the salah, and then they say salam. So you're on this side, and you're looking at each other at a time of salah. Because some have said early, and some other wait. This is also done because of difference of opinion amongst the ulama. According to Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala, you say the salam right behind the salam of the imam. For example, Imam says assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Right after him, you also go assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This does not mean you do immediately at the same exact time as the imam, because in that case, there is a risk that you could say the other salam before the imam has done so, if you're going exactly the same speed as imam. So what it means that you give imam the second, he says assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and then you say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Imam says assalamu alaikum, and then you say assalamu alaikum. This is according to Abu Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala. Imam Shafi'i, he says no, you have to wait for the imam to finish both salams, then you will start and begin your own salam, assalamu alaikum and assalamu alaikum. And hence, according to him, it is also part of the rukn of the salah that a person says assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to get out of the prayer. If a person did not say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, rather towards the end he just stands up and breaks his prayer, then he will have to repeat it and he will have to redo it. These were the 5 fundamentals of salah. And the 6th, if you were to count Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala's Fatiha as well on top of the recitation, on top of the qira'ah. And 7, if you were to count some other fuqaha, as they have said, that saying assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah at the end is also a fard, a rukun of the salah. But mainly, according to Abu Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala, there are only 5: standing, recitation, ruku, 2 sajdas in every rak'ah, and then the final qa'dah. This means that the first sitting, for example, for the 4 rak'at salah, the first time we sit down, that is not fard, that is wajib. Meaning if a person forgetfully stands up and does not sit, he can do sajda sahaf at the end and it'll be fine. For a fard, you can do sajda sahaf. You will have to return that thing that you have missed. For example, a person did only 1 sajda and then he stood up. He forgot to do the sajda, right? In that case, he will have to do 3 sajdas in the next rakat. 1, 2, because the one that he missed. If he did not fulfill that missed sajda, then just doing sahaf at the end, it will not suffice because he has missed out on a fard and he will have to do it. Yeah, the fard, the rukun, this is the principle for everyone, that if you missed out on a rukun, a fard part of the salah, you have to redo that. You have to either do that again in the same prayer, or you will have to redo your entire prayer. This is the principle. And the difference is that what they consider for the part of the salah, which I mentioned, that the 5, Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, and 6, Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala, these are the fara'is, the arkan of the salah. If it is missed, it has to be done within that same salah. If you don't do it, your salah is not valid because you've missed a fard salah. The same way as if a person misses out on the day of Arafah in the Hajj, his Hajj no longer counts. It doesn't matter if he's done Mina, he has done Muzdalifah, he has done Jamarat. If he missed Arafah, that is the fard of the Hajj, his Hajj is done. His Hajj is gone. He has lost it. He has to come back next year or whenever and perform that Hajj because the Yawmul Arafah has passed. He just can't go on the 13th or 14th on the plains of Arafah and say, I'm going to stay here for this day. This cannot happen because he has missed a fard. And these are the fundamentals of Salah. Inshallah, we'll... So we, up until now, we have covered the Kitab al-Tahara, the book of the Tahara. We covered 6 topics in it. And until now, we have discussed 4 or 5 topics of Salah as well. We discussed Adhan, Iqama, the fiqh of that. We discussed the conditions of the prayer, how prayer becomes farad upon the people, and then the faraiz of the prayer. So, inshallah, next Wednesday, I will make a very easy exam, a test, 10 maybe questions on it, 10, 15. And as long as we have done the main things that I've mentioned, for example, there will always be a question about what is nijaz al-hukmi, what is nijaz al-hakiki. This will be on it. So as long as you know what is hukmi, filth, and hakiki, impurity, you guys are fine. It's very easy. Hakikat means real, meaning you can see it. Hukmi means you can't see it. Very easy. You can't mess this up. Very easy one, right? Multiple choice questions. Yeah, like I said, it's very easy. Just close your eyes and Bismillah, and you'll be fine. As long as Nabil Bhai is there, I will consider a success. That's it. Well, the 5 choices make a different 20% chance now. The 4, but there will be, inshallah, it'll be very easy. Very, very basic things that we do. For example, how many fara'is of wuzu there are. I believe everyone here knows there are 6 fara'is of wuzu. So, huh? So we know 6 fara'is of wuzu, all of us. Yeah, so inshallah next week we'll do the test quickly, and then there are still about 10 different chapters in the salah category, the wajibat especially, and the musafir and outside prayer and all of that we will cover in the coming weeks, inshallah. And that the prize is already determined, inshallah. You will get, you will win masjid retreat, inshallah. the whole 2 days, inshallah, that person will be here and doing dhikr and listening to the bayanat. Might say, okay, I'm going to fail on purpose now. Inshallah, the purpose of all of that is at least the basic things, the most important ones we keep in our mind. All of the other details, we can look it up afterwards, ask afterwards. But the main things about our deen, the fara'iz and the wajibat, the ones that we interact and we engage with every single day, as long as we know them, or at least know a few of them, inshallah, that is a beginning. And like I said, these things people forget. Even if you know it right now, if I were to ask you maybe a couple of months later, you might not remember a single thing. But that is fine because we keep on revising, we keep on going through them, listening to them, and inshallah, Allah will make it easy. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله بالعالمين.